All right. Still getting used to all the microphone settings and everything like that. My biggest issue right now is more or less just finding out what the deal is with the microphone on OBS. I don't like that. Um, it's just a little too weird. I remember it used to be able to use the microphone and have it not be listed in the scene, and so you can talk in the beginning. But now, for whatever reason, it's not working properly. So I'll look into it, and it's it is what it is. But it's just growing pains and stuff. So today I'm gonna be going over some pretty neat stuff. I mean, this is what I'm gonna do typically. I'm gonna do some math problems. Most of these problems come from or directly from the test questions. So I am to believe that, studying and continuously working on stuff is going to make it a lot easier for me to hit my goal, which is to do the tests, the GRE exams, and go to grad school. Right now I only have my bachelor's in math and computer science. So at some point I'm going to have some projects to do. I got some cool, let's see, Gundam and things to work on. So until then, I just go check it out for now. So yeah, kind of nice little equation right here. Um, Let me fix my settings real quick though. Yeah. So now if I everything should be working properly now. Okay. I also got myself a Celsius, even though this time right now is very late. Um, so let's give this a shot. If I do this properly, then this should list in front, and we can just look over here instead. Pardon me. Oh goodness. Um, so this here is the subject test. I don't want this section. I want to have um the normal session, math section, practice test. I was looking at one earlier. Gotta look for a correct one here, because no, I don't want to actually do the version just yet. I will do one in the coming future. Is it this one? Is it? Blah blah blah. This looks familiar. Okay, mathematics practice test. But that's that subject test again. No, I don't. I don't want it like this. I want. Gosh, what was it? And my frames are so bad too. That's weird because I'm also streaming this on YouTube as well. So if there's an issue with that, that's probably because um I really can't say. Do I need a higher bandwidth for Twitch or something? Also, I guess I'm shaking a little too much there, so I'm gonna adjust my settings a bit. Uh, Give me a second as well. Hmm. I'll switch out and I'll hide myself for a second since I'm shaking too much. I want to lower that effect. I don't need to be shaking so violently. Instead, though, what if I did that? Uh, well, blah 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 blah. Let's try that instead. Let's see. Let's try this setting. Yeah, that way I'm not too obnoxiously shaken. 2%. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. So I'm gonna go back here and play around with some numbers. The normal practice exam. No. My goal is to look at the questions and write on top of it as well, but That's not helpful to me either. Practice book. Still the subject test. Add? No. No, that's the subject test. See, normally I had a versions prepared earlier, and that was something that I already saw. So I'm not sure how I'm not able to just find this version. Maybe if I just switch to Google. I don't like Google. I don't like what they do. But try this one out. No, I don't like it. I'm not gonna buy it. All right, whatever. I guess we'll go ahead and get started with the subject test. Not my intention, but because some of these questions were very, very pleasant to work with. Come on. Let's see. GRE practice exam. Math section? I don't know. I actually do need to learn what the other section is because I haven't really played around with it. Free practice Manhattan Review. Actually, sure. Let's give this one a shot. Let's see. Start practice questions. Study for free with Manhattan GRE practice questions. Manhattan Review has been helping students prepare for entrance exams like the GRE since 1999. Wow. With more than 20 years experience, Manhattan Review's instruction, blah, 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 blah. Okay, what am I waiting for? I need to practice some stuff. Give me something. Oh, goodness. This is going to be all these. Qualitative reasoning. Just go ahead and get this one started. Okay. Can't see it too well, so let's zoom in a bit. Okay. Okay, given that x and y are greater than 0, maybe this is a good time for me to use my Krita right here so I can draw. Given that x and y is greater than 0, which is true? X squared y to the 4th and x cubed y to the 6th. Okay, all we know from this is that we have a number. X and y have to be either the same sign, or they have to be the same sign. That's really all we know. So let me go ahead and get my Krita up as well. Let's see. I want this, please. Okay. So if I'm going to figure this out, I have to consider this real quick. So on a whim, it just says x times y is equal to, greater than 0. So that means x and y have the same sign. Or another way to say it is that x is, x is, why did I do that over here? What? Also, what happened to my smooth brush as well? I should have it working. My touch sensitivity's gone. Where did that go? Come on. Yeah, it's not that sensitive. That's absurd. Come on. Oh, brilliant. Okay. Let me just erase this entire thing. I'm not gonna lie. I don't want this thing. I'm gonna go for white real quick. Obnoxious. Wonder why it's not doing it the way I want. How did I activate touch sensitivity as well? Whatever. I am gonna just move on with my life. This is not fair. Black. I just need a dark color. Okay. So we have x and y greater than 0. That implies x and y are either is less than 0 or x and y are greater than 0. No in between. So let's take a look back at the other question. We want to look at the quantities x squared y to the 4th and x cubed y to the 6th. So if I get rid of that, x cubed, well, as we see, x squared doesn't matter what sign it's going to be. This is always going to be above 0, greater than 0. Okay? But, in fact, we can't really tell whether squaring it makes it a smaller number or not. Because it doesn't tell us if x is, it's greater than 0, but we can't tell anything unless it's above 1. Because x squared is less than x, less than 1. But still, or not even, because, given this scenario, maybe I mean to say absolute value. The absolute value of this x is between 0 and 1. So then when we square it, it's actually a smaller number than x. So we really don't know. All we know is that it's at least this much. X cubed, y to the 6th. Well, this one doesn't matter what sign it is. It does matter what sign this x is. So x can be negative. Let me use a different color. X can be negative or it can be positive. That's not helpful to us at all. So we really can't tell anything, I think, out of this one. So let's go back to our question here. It says quantity A is greater. We have no idea. Quantity B is greater. We have no idea because we don't know the actual values. Value C, answer C, the two quantities are equal. There's never that never happens in these questions. And then the relationship cannot be determined from the given information. That is my final answer. Submit that. Yes. Okay. Question 2. Not drawn to scale. The figure shown below. Right, the figure shown above, line segment BC, has a length of 16. Rectangle FABE is a square, and the area of the rectangular region FACD is 612 square centimeters. We want to find the area of FABE and the area of EB. Given those quantities, the area and the quantity what can we find out? If I remember, these questions have to be quick. So me dilly-dallying isn't helping anything at all. Let's get into it, though. Okay. So let me do another section on my Desmos right here, on my Krita. So I have a square, okay? Square. Draw me a square. So we know that these sides are A, B, C, and F, E, D. So it goes clockwise. So A, B, C, D, E, F. Next, we know that the length BC is 16 centimeters. And the rectangle FABE Let me use a red. Okay. So this region is in fact a square. Okay. Check for square. And the area of the rectangular region FACD, meaning this entire region, I'm going to do it in like a green, is 612 square centimeters. So now what can we tell about this? Let's see. We want to know the areas of FABE and EBCD. So FABE, meaning I want to know this region, and I want to know EBCD. EBCD. So yeah, just the two different regions right here. So that's a lot. What do we know? How can we figure this out? First off, how can it actually be solved the way it is right now? How can it be solved? Let's see. We know the line segment is 16 centimeters from BC, and FABE is a square. That is guaranteed. The rectangular region, we can find. Let's write an equation, okay? So, we know AF is equal to CD. That's this region and this region. This whole line segment right here it's AB plus BC. All we have is AC is equal to AB plus BC. We know for sure what BC is, and that's from the 16 centimeters a second ago. So AB plus 16 cm. Okay? Whatever this AB is, we'll find out in a second. Next, we know the square area. So that can be found by AC times F A, I guess, because they like to start with the F for some reason. Doesn't matter. This side length times this side length that gives us the area is exactly equal to 612 centimeters. We know what AC is, and that's from this whole chunk. So we can plug that in. AB plus 16 cm times it with FA is equal to 612 centimeters squared. Another thing, AB right here is this region right here, right? Let me use it's this region right here. So, since it's a square, that means this region right here is the same as this region. Meaning that this FA can be replaced with AB again. So then we can move it down and replace this FA with AB plus 16 centimeters, not bananas, times AB again. So what we can do instead is follow the distributive property to figure out what AB is about, more or less. cm squared. Okay. That looks okay to me. AB plus 16, distribute that. So AB squared plus 16AB is equal to 612 cm. What can I do with this? What can I do with this? Part of me wants to solve for a polynomial and use quadratic formula to solve for it. Is that the best thing we can do? Because we still need to figure out how long AB is. AB is equal to what? You can't see very well. AB is equal to what? Yeah, I guess we'll just do it. So AB squared plus 16AB. Move the term 612 is equal to 0. I'm going to factor it to solve for our terms of AB. I might need more space. Let's see. So our A term is equal to 1. Our B term is equal to 16. And our C term is equal to negative 612. Is that right? Okay. Following quadratic formula, we have negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Okay. So if this is true, we can discover, we just plug in our terms. So negative 16 plus or minus square roots of 16 squared minus 4 times 1 times quantity 612 all over 2. 16 squared. Let me pull up the calculator right here. Where is the calculator? Give me just a second. Where did I put the calculator? Okay. We got this right here. That's fine. So 16 times 16 is equal to 256. Negative 16 plus or minus negative, sorry, 256 minus, so negative 4 times negative 16 is going to be positive. So 4 times 612, 2,400, okay, 2,448. We're going to add 2,448, whatever that term is, all over 2. 256 plus 2,448 is equal to 2,704. Take the square root of that. It's exactly 52. So, negative 16 plus or minus 52 over 2. Okay. That's true. We can't use the negative term because that doesn't exist in our space. So we're going to use the positive term. So 16, 52 minus 16. 52 minus 16 is equal to 36. Divide that by 2. It is equal to 18. Is equal to A, B. Okay. All that to say, whatever this was, our real answers are going to be 18. So if this region is 18, and then this is also 18, that means this one is also 18. This area, AB, this big rectangle is in fact bigger just because this side length AB is bigger. So this whole region is in fact bigger. What should I... 18 squared. And then this region right here, this region is instead 16 times 18, which is in fact less than it. Okay, so let's go back to our answer. We know that A, B, that one, and then the other one is actually bigger. Okay, so let's take a look back again. Thank you, calculator. Never let me down. Okay, our final answer for this one's going to be that FABE is greater than the other region. Quantity A is greater. Final answer. Submit. It's too easy. That was actually too easy, in fact. Whew, I can do this in my sleep. Question 3. Fuck. All right, this is taking a while, isn't it? So it's almost like this is an actual exam. This takes quite a while. So what we can do then, says working independently, a machine A can complete a work. Hold on, I'm also going to reset my Krita page. So working independently, machine A can complete a work in 3.5 hours. While machine B can complete the same work in X hours. Working simultaneously, they work together to complete the same work in 1.5 hours. We have the answers 3 and the answer X. Which is greater? Take a look. I'm gonna go back to our Krita real quick. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna erase everything here because I don't need it. Erase. Really? And I'm going to go back down and drop it to probably like a few pixels thick. I'm going to zoom in so we can actually write some stuff out better. So we have question. Working independently, meaning that this can be done by itself. B can do it in X hours. We don't know how long X is. Working together, they complete it in 1.5 hours, meaning, of course, working together increases productivity, so it's going to lower the value down to 1.5. The answers A, 3, and X are what we got to work with. So, let me write this down first. You won't see it in just a second. Okay, A, come on. Machine A gives me 3.5 hours, and then machine B gives me X hours. A plus B gets me 1.5. Okay, this is what we got. Since they're both working together, whatever quota that they had, they finished. We're going to compare the numbers 3. Maybe I should have it red. We're going to compare the answers 3 and the answer X to find out what the relationship is. So, if this value of B, we don't know what it is, right? It is in fact X. So, how would we phrase this? I believe this needs to be phrased as we can get A done in A amount of time. I'm sorry, at a rate of A. You can do whatever work at a rate of A. If X was equal to A, and by A I mean talk about this A up here, then our rate would be cut in half, right? I guess I should write it as A plus A is equal to 1.5. But that doesn't make sense because if this was working twice as fast, we would cut down 3.5 in half. And 3.5 in half is equal to 1.75. So X is actually faster. X contributes more than what A is contributing, because for us to get an answer of 1.5, we'd have to be bigger than whatever this value of A is. Meaning that our X is actually going to be bigger than this value. Or, hold on. Good question. What are we going to do? Instead, is that right? If X was equal to A, they'd contribute twice as fast. If X was faster, which is what we discovered, it's faster by how much? By some factor. We don't know. But we know it's faster. If it's faster, then the answer B how is that right? No, I don't think that's quite right. The answers are not very obvious. We don't know the rates. We can't just add rates like that. That's not how it works. Instead, all we know is that X is bigger and faster. And it takes X less time. So if they had said 3.5, we know for sure x is less than 3.5. But the answer 3, we don't know. I'm convinced we don't have enough information. It could be 3. It could be x. But I don't want to just go ahead and say yes. There's got to be a trick to this. They complete the work in 1.5 hours. Right? It completes the work in 1.5 hours. So what? By what rate? By what relationship? X is definitely faster. Machine B is faster. But we don't know by how much. This could be an awkward relationship between the two where regardless, they're still going to hit 1.5 hours. You would think we'd know, but we don't. If it takes A 3.5 and it takes B X hours, can we figure that out? I don't know. I can say no. The relationship cannot be determined because if this was 3.5, we could definitely say it, but this one is not. I'm gonna submit this. What? Why is that? Oh, this was so close. Okay. It seems that you either did not get the question correctly or muddled the information. Given A can work alone for 3.5, yes, and B can work alone for X. A and B working together can complete the work in 1.5. So thus we might find the value of X and compare it with 3. We don't know that though. Part of the work machine A working alone completes. The part of work machine A working alone completes in 1 hour is equal to a relationship of 1 to 3.5, which is about 2 to 7. So here they took the answer of it takes 3.5 hours to complete one quantity of work. Thus, the ratio you can write out, a fraction, would be this, and you can simplify it to be a whole number. Then B by itself completes it in 1 over X hours. We don't know what X is. We just have that as a fraction. That's obnoxious. Thus, part of the machine working together completes is it's a fraction of 2 over 7 plus 1 over X, which is the same as this relationship of 1 over 1.5. One quantity of work is now done in 1.5 hours. That's crazy. Okay, now I know. If that's what it wants, then we can solve for X. All we have to do is combine like terms and solve and isolate the spots. That's interesting. So you could have found it. I suppose that makes more sense. So if I consider using this idea, I was considering that. I didn't know how to do it properly. That's fine. So 1 over X is apparently 2.6, which means it's less than 3. So that is a guaranteed relationship. We did not know that. Well, that's fine. That's only question C. What did people say here? People got it right. 61% of them got it right. Man, I suck. Let's keep going. This is fine. Next question. A driver completed the first 20 miles of a 40-mile trip in an average speed of 50 miles per hour. And a second 20 miles at an average... And the second 20 miles at an average speed of X miles per hour. The average The average speed for the entire 40-mile trip was 60 miles per hour. Assume the driver did not make any stops during the 40-mile trip. What does that mean? I don't know. Let me write it out. So, let me find a new section on my Krita. So, it says, we completed a first, I'm going to put the number 1 here. The first 20 miles of a 40-mile trip. So, the whole trip is 40 miles. Okay? 40 miles. You guys can't see this side right now. First 20 miles of a 40-mile trip is the average speed of 50 miles per hour. Okay. And the second was completed in X miles per hour. The average speed for the entire trip was 60. So, our average, we're going to find that out soon. Assuming no stops. The average speed for the entire 40-mile trip. The entire 40-mile trip. 60 miles per hour. So, we're at a speed of 60 miles per hour. So, if we know that, we can actually find out how long our trip was. If it's only 40 miles, the average was 60 miles per hour, right? So then our hour is H. 60 H is equal to 40. So then H is equal to 40 over 60, which is equal to 2/3 of an hour. Okay. So that's the total time that was done. Assume that the driver did not make any stops. Quantity A is 6x minus 60. And quantity B is 10. You want to compare these numbers. What are they going to be? So, it took us 2/3 of an hour to have an average of 60 miles per hour. So, X has to be pretty fast for us to finish the trip, where we increase this average on the first 20 miles, 20 trips. Okay. So then, if that's true, what do we have here? X minus 60? We can actually figure this out right now. What is X? Right? We were going 50 miles per hour, and that covered 20 miles. 50 miles per hour, and that covered 20 miles. Okay? So then our H, 50H, is equal to 20. So then I move it over. H here is going to be equal to 20 over 50. Cross, cross. 2/5. 2/5 of an hour. So, if we know the total time of our H, it took about 2/3, and then one portion took up 2/5, that means we can solve and find out what our last portion is from the X. X miles per hour. Let me phrase this properly. X hours. That's fine. So then, we have there's two portions. We have the 2/5 of our time. That's a 5. 2/5 of our time, plus our second half of the trip, is equal to 2/3 of an hour. We don't know what XH is, but we're going to find out for it. So we subtract it. XH is equal to 2/3 minus 2/5. Solve for like terms. 2 over 3 becomes 10 over 15. Maybe I gotta write this smaller. 10 over 15 minus 2/3. We multiply by 3, so that's 6 over 15. Subtract that. That means we are at 4/15 of an hour. What is that? The hell is that? I don't know, but whatever that speed is, we're gonna find out. What can I do with this information? XH is equal to 4/15. That's not our actual speed, but we're going this much to get to an average speed of 60 miles per hour. Our total time could be found. We already had it. What can I say? How do we combine averages again? So if this was a graph, I need to draw it better. So if this was a graph, we'd be going at 50 miles per hour. This right here is this distance ended up taking, this is our 20 miles. No, this is our time. This is going to be our time, T. Our time is T, and that took us the first trip 2/5 of an hour. Okay. We're done. Turns out this whole section right here is another 4/15. And it was at a stupid fast speed, fast enough where we can find out how long it was. This is at x mph. Okay. Then we know our final time here, which is going to be 2/3. And then this right here is the span of 4/15 time. The total, technically it should be split. These are even. This here, the first trip took 20 miles, and then now up here it took 40 miles. That's what it was. Okay, so we know our average. We need to know our average was 60 miles per hour. This here, it has a slope of 60 mph. Right here. Maybe I should make it red. Not what I wanted. That one is 60 miles per hour. Okay. Law of averages, a slope, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. This is a triangle. If I wanted to do law of sines or something like that, like law of cosines, I probably could have solved this as well. But I'm not trying to do that either. That's not quite right either. I'm pretty sure we can figure this out. If we can get this value from 2/3 and 40, then we had our starting point was 0, 0. Then our slope would be equal to 60, right? y2 is 40. Our x is 2/3. multiply this up to the 3. 40 times 30 is equal to 40 times 3 is 120. Divide by 2, that's equal to 60 proper. Okay, I just reinvented the question. This doesn't tell me anything. If I wanted an average speed, how do I clarify that it's 60 miles per hour? Figuring this out on a whim sucks. This is way too much time on one question. Unless we still need to just figure out what still just wanted to figure out x minus 60 and the quantity 10. Where does 10 come from? Okay. X minus 60 is equal to what? I don't know. I don't know what x is at all. But I do know for sure that it's positive. It's definitely positive. And what else? Then what? I'm not stupid. What is this? X minus 60. To figure that out. Okay, I think I got it. I have an idea. If I'm gonna go at a speed, if I want to find out my average speed, I gotta find out how much it's existed at that time. Right? Is that how much distance do you cover in that time, right? That's the obvious next step. Oh my gosh, I'm really stupid, aren't I? Okay, it's been a minute. I haven't been in school in a good while. Okay? So, for me to get 60 miles per hour as an average rate, I need to know how 60 miles per hour, right? And that comes from a number. Whatever that speed is divided by the actual distance, I mean, which is 40. Covered something 40 miles. I know for sure I covered 40 miles from my 50, and I covered 40 miles from my X. Okay, I got it. So we can find out our X, our miles per hour, by plugging in our 4/15, which we know is exactly 20 miles. So then we solve for X. X is going to be equal to 20 times 15/4. What is 15/4? I don't know. Let's simplify that. Crosses out the 4. This becomes a 5. 15 times 5 is 75? No. 75? No. 5, 2, 5, 5, 75? Yes. Okay. So X is equal to 75 miles per hour. So that means X minus 60 is equal to 15. So that took way too long. So that number X minus 60 is equal to 15, that quantity B. That must mean then that X minus 60 is greater. Quantity A is greater. That's took me way too long. That's so stupid. Okay, whatever. Let's keep it up. Here's what we got. Let me just take a break because that took a minute. My gosh. Okay. I also got sunflower seeds here, so if I'm snacking, I guess that's why. I can't really talk and solve this out loud like I think I can, but um I can. I'm just gonna take a quick break though. While I do that, I'm gonna talk about what my goals are right now. My goal is to practice a bunch of GRE questions, get used to some math questions, good variety of things, catch myself back up to remember almost everything from high school, college level. I graduated 2 years ago, so I'm definitely out of the loop with some stuff, especially with the tricks and everything that I wanted. So it's definitely been a minute. But I'd have to, especially because this test as well has a bunch of tricks to it. This one's not just very straightforward questions. Even though I could quote unquote figure it out, it's going to take me a minute. And for a time based test, this one is actually pretty bad because I need to answer as many questions correctly so I can rack up the most points. If I understand the GRE, the more you do answers, the more questions that you can answer, the better your odds are. Even if not about getting wrong answers, if you get wrong answers, it doesn't go against you. But the time that you spent solving for it, you're not building a higher score from it. So you want to build a high score by answering the most questions, um, and as many as you can, and as many correctly as possible. I need to know the times on these as well, so I can actually do like a timed exam. But my goals for actually doing the GRE are a long time in the future, and I'm gonna take it several times because the current date, October 23rd, it's actually pretty late to apply to grad school. So not the best, but it works. So my deadlines are definitely looking towards fall of 26 if I can barely get our tests done soon enough, or fall 27. Fall 27 would be different, which means I spend more time in the future. Hmm. I probably shouldn't want to munch in front of the microphone. That's kind of gross. I'm going to turn it off for a second and look ahead at this. Okay. Looking over the VOD a bit, I'm actually happy that I'm talking a lot. This is like good. I can yap. That's good. That's fantastic. The only issue is that I'm not smart. So I really got to like lock that in if I want to sound intelligent. So that's fine. I think I can do a lot. Um, Definitely means that there's clip potential, stuff that I can do in the future. I just need to do more, I guess. So hold on, give me a sec. Okay. I think I'm ready for the next question here. Let's go ahead and give this one a shot. A positive integer x is a perfect number if the sum of all the factors of x, if the sum of all the factors of x, including 1 and x, is equal to 2x. Okay. Okay, a positive integer x is called a perfect number if it is the sum of the factors, including x itself. So, how can I start this one? We have two quantities. The sum of the reciprocals of all the factors. I beg your pardon. The sum of the reciprocals of all the factors of the perfect number 28. The sum. Okay, that's what it is. The sum. That's what I keep getting mixed up on these questions specifically. It's annoying. So it is called the sum of the reciprocals. The factors of the perfect number 28. It is just called 28. Let's just start with that. Of all the factors. Of all the factors. Sum of the reciprocals of all the. Okay, let me just actually write it out. So, the number 28 is what we got. Okay. It is called 28. The sum of the reciprocals of all the factors. What are the factors of 28? Well, thank goodness I've been working on some of this. So we have 1 and 28. We have 2, since it's even, that'd be 14. Is it divisible by 3? No. Otherwise, we can add 3 and it could be 30. So not 3. 4? Yes. 4 and 7. 5? No. 6? No. Because its closest one is 4 times 6, which is 24. 24 plus 6 is 30. It does not count. 7 is the next one. So that's it. The sum of the reciprocals. So the number 1 over 1 plus 1 over 2, 1 over 4, 1 over 7, 1 over 14, and then 1 over 28. Oh, gross. This one's incredibly obnoxious. I just noticed. I got 4 viewers right now. So hey guys, what's up? My name is Aleph Mew. Um, it's if I'm just doing it on Twitch. I'm also doing streaming on YouTube as well. So the backlog for Twitch is actually a lot. I'm incredibly high latency. So just because I wanted to see how well it stream, but I might have that a lot faster. Anyways, let's see. We have the number 1.5 plus 0.25. We can plug this in. Bring out the calculator again. I'm not going to find that out. I'm just going to find the sum. 1 plus 1 over 2 plus 1 over 4. So 1 over 14. 1 over 20. So that's 1 point. So then our final answer is going to be, I actually didn't need this information at the beginning then. So let's take a look. That is actually just 2. Okay, so that means that quantity A is less than quantity B is greater. That's gotta be right. I'm gonna kill myself. Why? Okay, so what is it? It's a perfect number because of this factoid. Seems that you either didn't. Okay, I got it. The definition of a perfect number, a perfect square number, is a positive integer x and a perfect number. So I got this number right here. What? Okay, the factors are 1, 2, 4, 7, 14, and 28. I got that part. The sum of the factors, some of the reciprocals of all the factors of 28 are that. I added it with the calculator. So I got a number. But why is that bad? Which is equal to that. Yes, you could use 28. And because they all multiply up to be 28 anyway, so it makes sense. So you, let me scroll that down a bit. So yeah, of course you do that. We see that the numerator 28 plus 14 plus 7 plus 2 plus 4 plus 2 plus 1 is the sum of all the factors, yes, which is a perfect number. Thus, 28, that must be equal to 2 times that. So it's equal. Wait, how did my calculator get it wrong then? Did I insert it wrong? 1 over 1 plus 1 over 2 plus, I didn't divide anything. 1 plus 1 over 2 plus 1 over 4 plus 1 over 7 plus 1 over 14 plus 1 over 28. I inputted wrong. I inputted it wrong. I'm so mad. If I had a physical calculator, though, that would have been flawless. And I could have found that out. I don't know. Does the GRE let you... Does the GRE let you use a calculator? Suppose that the quick trick would have just been to basic on-screen calculator during the exams. Cannot bring your own calculator. On-screen calculator is limited functionality and is designed to assist with basic arithmetic tasks. Lucky for me, that was basic arithmetic, and I could have solved for that, but that sucks. You would think I knew what I was doing. Okay, I guess not. Where was I at? It looks like B people got a majority of people got it wrong, in fact. That's interesting. Only about a third of people got it correct. Like, I mean, doesn't make me feel too much worse. I feel bad because this is just basic review. And some of these questions, this isn't fair. Because I used to set curves in my physics classes. When the average was like a 50%, I would be the guy with the 95. So, it's humbling. But I guess it just goes to show that I'm rusty. Okay, whatever. We'll continue on. Also, I need to use these factoids somehow, just because it gives it to me, so I should need to use it somehow. So that's something important. Okay. Question 6. I guess we're going to keep going until we get to at least 20 questions done. That's fine. The sequence A1 to A2, A3, all the way to AN, and so on, is such that A1 is equal to -2, A2 is -5, A3 is 4, A4 is 3, and AN is AN -4. So these are the base cases. And then it repeats back so it loops back. Okay. In other words, it's going to be -2, -5, -4, 3, -2, -5, 4, 3, -2, -5, 4, 3. Okay. That makes sense? Oh, hey, I got a... Man, it's easy. You just have to get smart. I appreciate that. Yeah, I've realized the lag is super, super long. So, hi, D2 Pawa. How you doing? Thanks for being my first chatter. I'm quite happy about that. So, thanks for dropping by the stream. Just check me out. This again. By the time you get this message, it's gonna be like I want to say like 3 minutes ahead, or behind because it just takes more. I gotta switch the settings later so that I can catch up with the stream live. But you can also find me on YouTube. I'm live right there as well. Where I'm basically live. So interesting thing. Anyways, let's see here. The sequence is that, and then it repeats. The sum, our first quantity, the sum of the first 64 terms of the sequence, first 64 terms, and then we have the sum of the first 98 terms of the sequence. So, it looks like we need to find the pattern of the first 4. What is the sum of the 4? -2, -5, 4, and 3. Let's switch over to my drawing board. So that is going to be -2, -5, 4, 3, right? That is what we had before. So what is this sum? So we can group them in 4s and not worry about anything, because that is going to be the first 4. The sum of the first 4 terms is going to be -2, -5, 4, and 3. Okay. So this sum here is equal to -5. So this is -7. And then this here is also 7. So the sum will just be 0. So every 4 that I have is 0. Brilliant. Okay, this is why it's a college question. Why did they need to add the info if it's a perfect number? I suppose it's because it's a trick. You can solve without needing to actually use a calculator. You can identify that it was a number that you could identify. So let's follow this through. This is what it said. It said that you can add this as a sum, and if you add it as a sum, you can just write it all over this because these are all factors of 28 anyway. So then you just multiply each number to the reciprocal, 28 parts. Then we have 14 parts, then 7 parts, then 4 parts, then 2 parts, then 1 part. So this number 28 could have been just replaced with, or this sum could have been replaced with 2 times 28 over 28. This sum would have just been equal to 2. We wouldn't have needed to solve for it at all. Or, I'm sorry, you can find the sum as this already without needing to actually solve for it. So yeah, very strange. So yeah, I guess those are the tricks that you would use, at least in like the series and stuff like that. That's what you'd have to use to get exact answers. You can't just write out your decimals because stuff like 1/7, that is not going to be rational. That is going to go on for forever. So adding decimals could means you end up rounding, which means that you don't get an exact answer. This one, you get an exact answer of 2. So that's why. Okay, so then let's continue this. The first 64 terms. Is 64 able to be written by a power of 4? 64 is 4 times what? Yeah, it is laggy. So if you want to look at it live faster, you might want to switch the stream, but otherwise it's perfectly fine. It is. I thought the latency was gonna be low, but it's not my fault. So I'll consider that for Twitch because Twitch is I'm dropping frames left and right, so I'm really not enjoying that part. But for some reason YouTube enjoys whatever it can get, so that is what it is. Okay. So 64 can be written as 4 to the what power? Let's take a look. Log 64 base 2. I know 64 is 2 to the 6. Is that right? 2 to the 6 is... Let's bring out our calculator. 2 to the 6 is in fact 64. So if I wanted it to be 4 to the 3rd, is that right? 4 to the 3rd. That's the wrong one. 4 to the 3rd is 64. So that sum is going to be equal to 0 because, in fact, it is equal to a base of 4. So that means, regardless, we're going to get a sum of 0. It seems like my Twitch keeps crashing and I dislike it. Can I modify this real quick? Start sync with OBS. Sorry. Okay, so this sum is already 0, so we don't have to worry about that. If we take a look back here, the first 98 terms, how close is that? That is every 4 is equal to 98. Come on. I just realized the name of today's stream. I didn't change it at all. Oh, gosh. First 98 terms, it's fine. 96. I can divide that by 4. Let's take a look back here. 96 divided by 4. 96 divided by 4 is equal to 24. So it is a factor of 4. So we do know that is equal to 24. So 96 is good. But our answer is looking at 98, which means we add the first few terms again, which is -2 and -5 to make it 98. -2 on top of that, and then -5. So that means our final answer is going to be -7. So the quantity B is less than 0. This is B. It is less than the quantity of 0, which is our quantity of A. So that said, that means that B is less than A, which means I can plug that in as my answer. A is greater than. Yeah, A is greater. Please don't mess me up. Please. Okay, thank God. Oh, okay. So, wow, there's a lot of people on the stream now, too. What the heck? That's interesting. What's up, guys? How are you doing? Here's our next question. I feel like we're doing good. Question 7. I sure hope the stream is working. If it's not, please check me out on the YouTube channel. I believe my link is in the I will put the link in the chat of the stream. Let's see. Let me see if that's correct. Check this out if this is laggy. Sorry for the first. Sorry for the kinks. Let's see, 9 people on the stream. Interesting. Well, oh, what, is math interesting? I hope so. I studied it. Um, do I have a job in it? No. That's why I'm going back to grad school. Woo! Okay. We'll just keep moving along. Let me know how the stream is going because I'm curious as to like how well it's going. And the numbers keep going up. That's crazy. Hello, everybody. Okay. Let's keep going. We have here a sequence of numbers: 3A19B3. The arithmetic mean of the list of numbers above is 4, and A and B are integers. The arithmetic mean. I hear a noise. That's not good. Uh. Oh, I guess they were checking me out. Interesting. Um. No problem. Receiving not enough video. Let me reset the stream right now. Yeah, let me reset the stream. It'll probably work better. Hold on a sec. Mm. Mm. All right. Starting fresh again. Sorry about that. I hope that it works properly. Uh, please let it work properly. I'm annoyed by that. Okay. We carry on. We carry on with everything. Okay. We have here the arithmetic mean of the numbers is 4. So whatever this is, the sum of the numbers is 4. The average. Okay. Your mean, if you call a girl, average. That's how you remember it. Here's how we go along. I'm gonna go look over to my creator real quick. The numbers that we had in the sequence, whatever that sequence of is, we have one. Give me a sec. Let me write these numbers out. So it is 3A, 1, 9, B, and 3. Whatever that average is, it is. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 elements. Whatever this average is, divide that by 6. That is equal to 4. Guaranteed. I don't know how we could solve for A, B together. They are guaranteed to be integers, though. Integers. Meaning they're whole numbers. Integers are A and B. Okay. Then we need to look at what numbers we're actually going to, compare that to. We're going to look at the mean of the list and the median of the list. I think that's easy. So, if it's the median, and the median is the number in the very middle of your list, starting from left to right. So this is our 0th, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm sorry, I'm counting like a computer scientist. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're gonna look at the numbers in between. If it's an even number, and meaning it's split between two numbers, you add them together and divide them by 2. So we add 1 and 9, and that'd be 10. And that'd be divide that by 2, so that'd be 5. The mean of the list, we already know the number is 4. Okay? So is 5 greater than, less than, or equal to 4? That's easy. Holy smokes. That's actually an easy question to answer. Holy smokes. That is fantastic. So quantity A is greater than, right? 9 and 10. We don't know what it is. Correction. Is it the case that it's in a sorted list? Okay. I am to believe it's from a sorted list, not just any list. let's look for an answer just in case. So if it's a sorted list, we have to actually solve for our thing here. So if we wanted to find out what A and B were, they are integers. We can solve for it. We can multiply by 6 by both sides. So we have 3, A, 1, 9, B, and 3. It's a 9. That is equal to 24. Okay. If it's equal to 24, then we can add the rest of the numbers up. This one's 10. This one's 3. 3 is 6. So then our actual number on the side is going to be 16. A plus B is equal to 16. Sorry. Plus 16 is equal to 24. You subtract 16 is equal to minus 16. What happens now? The difference is 8 is equal to A plus B. Okay, there's a relationship with A and B. We don't know what the other one is. That sucks. Can I write B in terms of A? Sure. I don't think that's right. I'm really tempted to just go with the first answer. I have no reason to suspect. The mean of the list, the median of the list. The middle numbers, right? It's sorted. B is equal to 8 minus A, whatever A could possibly be. So there, I don't know. Actually, there's a chance then that the relationship cannot be determined then, huh? Right? That's an answer. So we're going to go with A, but I'm going to go with D just because I'm curious about that, because it's not quite right. Are you kidding? This is not an MCQ numeric entry question when I have to get a unique value. We'd have to find out. Okay, what? Compare the median. Okay, we have to compare the median and the mean equal to 4 on the list. Let's first find out the relationship between A and B using the information of the arithmetic mean of the list that equal to 4. That's the sum right there, equal to 4. We knew that. Solve for our terms. Move it over. A and B is equal to 24 minus 16. Okay, yeah. Say A, B is equal to 8. We already know the quantity, meaning the mean, so you'll need to calculate the median. We need to calculate the value of the median. So we have A plus B equals to 8. Let's discuss two extreme cases. A is equal to -2. Thus, B equals 8 minus -2, which is equal to 10. Extreme cases. Why do we have to do that? Because we don't know our answers? Yeah, it's always going to be a relationship away from each other. But why is it? Why? You can use any number? That's arbitrary. Let's discuss two extreme cases. Say A is -2, thus B is equal to 8. Okay. So the list arranged in ascending order is... Okay, I was right. I was right to consider the median as in a sorted list. Okay, that part I'm happy about. Because there's the 3 numbers in between, we'd have to consider that, and then we get a median of 3. That's strange. We see that a quantity A is equal to 3, and B is equal to 4. If we use those numbers. We don't have to use those numbers, but those are numbers. Okay. Or we could say A and B equal to 4 just directly. So there's a continuum of values you can get from A and B. Just all we know is that the relationship is A and B equal to 8. They can change, meaning your sorted list gets more extreme, right? -2 and B is equal to 8, so that starts on one side to the other side. That makes sense. Oh, that's so annoying. Or the numbers are the same value, meaning that they're something's in the middle. We get a quantity of A equal to 3.5 and the quantity equal to 4. In which case, cannot consider the case that it's A is equal to 3.5 because that would be an invalid case since both A and B are both integers. Thus, median of the list is either 3 or 3.5. And in either case, quantity A is equal to 3 or 3.5 is less than the quantity 4 regardless, meaning that quantity B is greater than quantity A. 41% got that right. Oh, okay. Well, just as many thought that it was not enough information. So I'm not a fault. I'm a sheep. I'm a sheep, guys. Bleh. Bleh. Whatever. So that's 3 wrong questions so far out of... This one is a challenging... Oh, okay. I should probably look at the difficulties because these ones will tell me a lot. This one, difficulty, challenging, statistics. Okay. X is chosen at random from a set 1 to 4. And Y is chosen from at random from the set 5 to 9. Okay. 5, 7, and 9. So the probability that X and Y will be even, the probability that X plus Y will be even. Okay. Actually, this is not too hard, I think. Right? I don't know. So how many even numbers are there? Any number that is an even number times any number. Any even number times any number will be even, regardless. We always know that. This here, we can consider the probability that X and Y is not even. It's even if X is odd and Y is odd. We also get an even number if they're both odd. Sorry, even. But if it's... Let's consider the probability where they are not even, meaning odd. What is the probability that X... Let's take a look at that. So, X is chosen at random. Half of the numbers are even. So that's 50.5. Right? 0.5 is our value for this. I suppose I should be writing this down, huh? Maybe speaking out loud is okay too. So, and Y is chosen at random. Any of these numbers, this is a 50% chance because it all depends on X. The product will always be even if either 2 or 4 is picked, which is one half the time. Does not matter what happens with this. Otherwise, the probabilities will multiply, and we know what that'd be. So half the time, it's going to be even. This probability, X plus Y, happens conditionally. Or we can look into the opposite and then subtract that from 1. Because there's only 2 possibilities, that the sum is even or the sum is odd. That only happens if X is odd and Y is not even. Y is guaranteed to be odd. So what's the probability that X then is even? Half the time. Is that right? I suppose I could write up a space for it. So then basically the probability is 1/2 for this. with logic alone. Um, you know what? I'm gonna just say quantities are equal. Final answer. Okay. Okay. I'm happy that worked out. I didn't have to really think too much about this one. That's great. That's great. So easy. Okay, question 9. Quantitative reasoning, challenging level, whatever. Okay, we have an inequality. 4 is less than the value, 7 minus x over 3. We look at the quantities. The maximum value of this expression, minus 5 minus x. What values of x work? On the maximum and the maximum value of 2x. Um, Very good question. Okay, what values of x are possible with this inequality? Uh, let's take a look. 4 is less than 7 minus x over 3. Okay, let's go back over here. 4 minus 4 is less than 7 minus x over 3. So then, this one, what values of x work? Multiplied by 3. So that's 12. Is less than 7 minus x. Subtract 7, subtract 7. 5 is less than x. X can be anything greater than 5. That's our range. That's our values. So when we look back here, the maximum value of this, the maximum value is technically an inequality, but starts, what if x increases, then the max value we can sort of plug in is 0. I'm sorry, this value is 0. And then it just, correction. This is infinite. Let me just plug it in. Minus 5 minus quantity 5 minus x. Minus quantity 5 minus x. So then negative 5 plus x, meaning x can be anything. So if x can be any positive number above 5, then this can be any positive thing, which means that it doesn't have an answer. Whatever it's going to be greater than the other one, probably. I'm not sure what it says about inequalities or expressions like that. So what does this say then? The maximum value of 2x. Yeah, so then x could be anything greater than that. So that's probably going to be equal. Or not. I don't know. It's not actually, like, they both approach infinity. So does that count as equal, or is not determined? I'm gonna say equal just for a second, but equal isn't the right term. And they got it wrong. Okay, I don't like this. Okay. What was the correct answer? A is greater? How is A greater? What? Ah, give me a second. Okay, so that's disappointing again. So it's the minimum value, the max. Oh, come on. How is it? Given that the solution is greater than 4, we have to compare the maximum number, the maximum value of this, and the maximum value of 2x. Let's first find out the range of x. We have this, and that means x, blah, 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 less than. Did I forget to flip the sign? I forgot to flip the sign. Wait, what? How did I do that? Oh. Oh. Yeah, I done goofed. So then if I had done that properly then that wouldn't have happened. Okay. Whatever. Okay. So then assuming that I didn't do it wrong, then I would have found it out. That makes more sense. So you can get any value of x. I don't even care anymore. This one's understandable. Okay, ratios and fractions. All right. Um, if p is negative, all these numbers are negative. If p is greater than q, but q is greater than r, what is the quantity of p over q? What is the quantity of q over r? This one's just logic. Damn it. Um, so p is the largest value. We don't know what it actually is, and they're all negatives. So the number is going to be positive regardless. P over Q is going to be a positive number because Q is a smaller number. Sorry. It's going to be bigger than 1. P over Q is bigger than 1 because Q over Q would be 1. P is greater than Q. So, but the magnitude, damn it. This one's, oh, I just wish I could just graduate and just get my degree and my diploma and everything. Whatever. All right. So Q has a bigger quantity, a larger quantity. If we look at the absolute values, Q is a bigger number than P, meaning that this number is actually less than 1. Q over R, R is a bigger number than Q, meaning that this is a negative number. This is less than 1. They're both less than 1. They're both less than 1. They're both less than 1. So P over Q is equal to a number is equal to more parts. And then R is equal to Q over R, Q over R, Q over R. Yeah. Relationship can't not to be determined. We can't tell nothing. Okay, whatever. All right. I didn't like that one. All right. Medium. This one's gonna be easy, right? Cars A and B are on opposite. No, not more cars. Cars A and B are at the opposite ends of a straight road. Car A moves toward car B for 1/2 of an hour, half an hour at a speed of 40 miles per hour, meaning that it hit. Okay, if it's at half an hour, that means it distance of 20 miles. Car B starts moving towards car A at speed of 80 miles per hour. Both cars meet towards each other, maintaining their respective speeds till they meet. Hmm. Okay. So I think that the total distance covered by car A and the total distance covered by car B, which one is greater? Start moving towards each other at a speed of 80 miles per hour. Car B starts moving towards A at... Okay, I see. So here's what I got then. This is car A. This is a truck, really. Going at 40 mph. This is car B. And it's headed towards A at... What was it again? 80 miles per hour. So then A's been moving for about half an hour. And we don't know how long B's been going. The quantities before they meet at each other. What's their distance from each other again? They are separated half an hour, 40 miles per hour. It's moving at 80 miles per hour. Keep moving towards each other till they meet. Is it arbitrary? Oh, so they both. Car A and car B are at opposite ends of a straight road. Car A moves towards car B for that. Oh, so then for half an hour, car B hasn't been moving at all. Um, so car B has already maintained a distance of 20 miles by the time B starts. B hasn't moved at all. None. Um, both cars, and then car B starts moving towards car A at a speed of 80 miles per hour, like instantaneously, like that. Both the cars keep moving towards each other and maintaining their respective speeds until they meet. Total distance covered by car A, and the total distance we don't know. We don't know when they meet. Like it says it's been going on for half an hour, and then the speed is 40 miles per hour, and then B starts moving towards A. We don't know anything else about when they met. So I'm going to just say that the answer is there's not enough information. If it says something else, I'm going to be so mad. Okay, very good. All right, that's good. Hard question. Okay. B is less than A, less than 1. A to the third and B to the sixth and B to the sixth, which is true. Well, A is definitely is between B. Whatever B ends up being, we don't know. But B could be 0 and A would be getting larger the more that our inequality, the more exponents we add to it. B would be just 0, so the whole thing would just be 0, and then this would also be 0. But we don't know anything. We absolutely do not know anything. B could be negative. If it being not bounded means that we don't know anything. So no information can be found. Unless, yeah, no. Cubing this A, it really depends whether A is, its absolute value is less than 1. We don't know. So there's nothing to find out. Easy. Challenging. Okay, Jacqueline traveled from New York to Virginia in 2 legs of journeys. She traveled more. There's always distance. She traveled more miles in the first leg of journey than the second leg of journey. She drove for 4 hours for the first leg of the journey, and 3 hours for the second leg of the journey. Ignore any stoppage between the 2 legs of journey. Okay, she traveled more miles. She drove for 4 hours and 3 hours for the second one. So, more miles, more hours. There's a chance there's a sweet spot that we definitely know something distance over 4 miles is our average speed. But whatever that is, it's definitely more than the second one. Is that right? She drove for 4 hours and then 3 hours for the second leg of the journey. Ignore any stoppage. So what is the average speed of the first leg of the journey and the average speed for the second leg of the journey? It depends. I like I said, I suspect there's a sweet spot because um, just because you travel more miles doesn't mean that you haven't been driving the same pace, right? The average speed could have been the same. Oh, average speed, hold on. It could be less. So if they're driving the same speed and it took them 4 hours, you divide by 4, meaning the number is bigger, meaning that you cannot find out. The average speed would actually be less. No, it'd be the same for both. But if she was hauling ass for 4 hours and then 3 hours for the second half, she could have just been cruising. So it'd still be true. So it's greater than or equal to. So right now I'm going to say there's not enough information. Yeah. Okay. I'm okay. Getting my, you know, my lucky day here, I guess. All right. This is just what's the maximum value of this equation, and what's that? The maximum value. Take the derivative and solve for 0 if it's a non-decreasing function. Okay, maximum value 1 over 4 plus y squared. Let me move over to this. 1 over 4 plus y squared. This is a function. Definitely a function. So what values of y could I be? Well, squaring it means that I'm bounded to just sticking with any positive number because it really doesn't matter because the magnitude increases. If I start with 0, y equals 0, then I end up with 1/4. Any number is going to be bigger than that. So if y equals 1, y squared is equal to 1, meaning that 1/5 is what I get. Meaning that's less than the 1/4. What's the maximum? 1/4. Compare that to 1/4, then they're the same. Yeah, the two quantities are equal. Easy. Okay. Question 15, challenging. The area of a square equals the area of a rectangle. Oh, that's not fun. So I have a square. What is the perimeter of the square and what is the perimeter of a circle? Actually, this is not too bad. Okay, so I have a square with, let me just use the shapes. So this is a square and then this is a circle. If I have this area here and I have this area, they're the same. They're the same. So then the perimeter is a, what's the relationship? If I call this L, and that means our area is L squared. And that's the same thing as the area of a circle, which is 2 pi r. The area is pi r squared. My bad. We don't know what r is. We don't know what L is. But we do know the perimeter. The perimeter is equal to 4L. And the perimeter, or the circumference, is equal to 2 pi r. Given that L is equal to that, we can solve for L. That implies L is equal to the square root of pi r squared. And also we don't know how big this is. So for L is equal to 4 root pi r squared. 2 pi r is true still. We don't know what this r is. But we do know this. So 4 square root of pi is a value. It's above 1. Square root of r is square root of r squared is just r. Compare that with 2 pi r. This is a bitch. Let's divide by pi r. All right, square root of pi. So I don't know the inequality. 2 pi r. What is... Really, it just comes down to this. Is this value greater than this number? 4 square root pi and 2 pi. 2 pi is about 6.28. 4 times root pi is equal to something. This is where I bust out the calculator. Okay, calculator, save me. What is 4 times the square root of pi? Okay, clear that off. Square root of pi. So pi, square root that. Times it with 4 is equal to that. So the perimeter is actually larger, 7 point something, than the circumference. Interesting. So A is greater. All right. Oh, I missed it. I got it right. Okay. This is fine. We got 4 more questions left and then we're done with the section and then I could call it a night. So, okay. We have here quantitative reasoning. Each side of a cuboid is integer and their sum is 6 units. Define a cuboid. I'm not going to be able to look it up right now. A cuboid is any square, like it's got right angles. It's basically like a rectangular prism. But cuboid in this case is just a cube. Isn't it just a cube? Why would it not be a cube? Why would it say it like that? Is that the case? I don't know. Okay, each side is integer and their sum is units, 6 units. Okay, so their sum, the sum of the sides, there's 6, how many sides are on a cube? Okay, let's find out. How many sides are on a cube? I have a cube like this. I have a square and another square, and then they're connected by these lines. So how many edges are there? The sum of their sides. Is that what it said? Each side of a cuboid is integer. Each side, meaning the area. There's some, so it's 1 unit each because there's 6 sides to it. Why would it phrase it like that? Is that not right? No. Oh, assuming it's not a cube. Ah, this is annoying. Okay. The total surface area of the cuboid versus the number 25. Oh no. Honestly, this one I just want to guess. I really don't want to deal with this one. Um, each side of the cuboid is integer and the sum is 6. What does it mean their sum is 6? Each side is integer, meaning it's 1, 2, 3, something like that. Their sum is 6 units. What does it mean each side? Like each unique side? Like length times width times height? There's no way that's not right. Okay, sure. If it's phrased like that, then I'll accept it. Then I have, let's look back here. So let's say it's that and just roll with it. So length times width times height. I don't know what they are. Length plus width plus height is equal to 6 units. Okay. If it's 6 units, that means that it's some combination of answers where these are positive, non-zero, because it's an actual shape. So L is greater than L, W, and H are greater than 0. Then what else do we have here? What is their surface area, right? The total surface area of the cuboid. I don't know. And then the number 25. I don't know. Cuboid. We don't know. We don't know what that is. Am I even setting any data? Okay, I'm gonna assume it's something like this. Okay, whatever that is equal to 6, the sums, right? So if that's the case, let me go ahead and solve for length, width, and then height. Minimally, it kind of doesn't matter which one's which. So L has to be equal to, so what happens if they're 2 plus 2 plus 2? That equals 6, right? So if that equals 6, the sum of the square area of each of these sides is 4. So each side is 4 times 6. That's a sum of 24. That's the evenly distributed scenario. If instead one length was 1 and the other one was 1, then we can max out the other one at a length of 4. And that equals 6. So then, if that's the case, we'd have a length of, what is our sum of this lengths? We have 2 sides that are the same, 2 sides that are from these ones, and then 2 sides that are, okay. So we have 2 length times widths plus 2 length times heights plus 2 width times heights. Is that right? If I were to rearrange this thing, I'm not going to rearrange it right now. So then, if they're all 2 from last time, that should be right. Right? So then 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, 8, 16. Okay. Then 2 times these ones. If our length was 1, and it doesn't matter how else we can rearrange it. That's one combination of it. So 2, 1, 1 plus 2, 1, 4 plus 2, 1, 4. So then 2 plus 8 plus 8. That means that surface area is equal to 16 to 18. So we can have a minimum. I want to say minimum. I don't know if it's true. Um, a cube can be 24 units of surface area, and then this one is less, meaning it can range. It can vary. Um, so then looking back at our actual question, the number 25, can we get something bigger than 25? Or equal to 25? Well, no, we don't know. Or can we? A cube, by the way, is the most optimal way to like get the most area. There's no other way to do it. So then, yeah, it's definitely going to be B is greater all the time. Final answer. I don't want to think about it. Okay, cool. All right. Question 17. I'm almost done and I can finally go to bed. Okay. Challenging triangles. The locations of Jack's home and school and gym form an obtuse angle on a map. Okay. So let me take a look here. Jack. That even is your real name. You're gonna go over here to this. The 3 points you're talking about, I'm gonna just draw them with a dot. 1, 2, 3. I guess like that. They form an obtuse angle. Wow, let's take a look at that. Okay, lower that down. What is the shortcut for this? Nothing. So this is our obtuse triangle. Okay. Then we have here this is the home, the school, and the gym. What is the difference? Quantity A is the difference between the distance of Jack's school and the distance from the home to the gym. We don't know which one's which. We don't know which length is the hypotenuse and which one's the side lengths. The difference between those, got to be one of them though. Or can we tell? Okay. The difference between the distance between Jack's home to the school and the distance from the home to the gym. We don't know which one's farther. One of these ones is guaranteed to be the farther one from the other because it's obtuse. And then our other value, I'm covering it, the distance from the school to the gym. Oh, come on. There's so many things to find out. So it does matter how we arrange it. We don't know anything though. The distance between Jack's home and the distance from the home to the gym. The difference depends. What if it's obtuse for sure? Meaning something's afoot. Oh, I don't like this one. I'm just gonna say it. There's not enough information. I'm gonna kill myself. Okay. All right. Sure. I'm kind of just figuring this out. 53% of people just wanted to give up on this one too. That's crazy. They are comparable. Comparable. You must know the triangle inequality theorem, which states, well, yeah, of course, the side lengths, one of the side lengths is bigger than the other. The sum of the two sides of a triangle is greater than the third side. Of course, I knew that. In other words, the distance between the two sides is less than the third side. Yeah, because I suppose. Now, from point 2, we see that quantity B is greater than quantity A. From point 2, the distance from the school to the gym, it's one of the sides. Let's say the distance between the home and the school is A. The distance between the home and the gym is B. And the distance between the gym and the school is C. Thus, from point 2, A minus B is less than C. The absolute value of it. The correct option is B. That's crazy. That's crazy. I could have done that, but I guess I didn't do that. Whatever. Okay, we got 3 more questions left and we're done. Okay. A garden has only equal number of roses and tulips. That's a weird phrase. Has only equal number. I guess proper. 2 flowers are selected randomly. Is that 50-50 chance? Well, conditional. Are they selected randomly? Like at the same time? Or are they selected one after the other? In which case the probability does change. I think it's to choose the 2. Okay. Quantity A. Twice the probability that both. What? Twice the probability that both flowers are selected are roses. So starts out 50%. And then it's slightly less. So it's twice the probability, slightly less than 1/2. Twice it means that it's still less than 1. But it's fairly large. Wait. Twice the probability. So it's guaranteed to be less than 1/2. The probability that one of the flowers selected is the rose and the other is a tulip. The probability that one of the flowers selected is a rose and the other is a tulip. Once the first rose is selected, no, 50-50 chance. One has to be a rose and one has to be a tulip. 0.25. Twice the probability that both flowers selected are roses. And then this one. I'm going to just say these are the same. Why though? Twice the probability that both flowers selected are roses. Come on. Think. I'm not really going to spend too much time on this one because I don't think I can really properly describe it. Twice the probability that both the flowers are selected. Okay. I'm just going to say that it's the same. Nope. Okay. I'm going to... Okay. X choose 2. 2x choose 2. Great. Okay. I got that one wrong. Why? Okay, quantity A. We know the probability of selecting 2 roses. There's a number of ways to select 2 roses. Choose 2 options, and then out of any possible probability of selecting two things from our list. Then we find those values. Why is the 1.2? I don't think that's very insightful. 1.x. What? X.x. What? What did people get? A is greater. B is greater. C? Nope. This one's not my favorite, but I suppose I didn't expect it to use combinations. So I guess that makes sense. Whatever. Um, got two more left and we're done. Data interpretation, mean and median, hard. Questions of section. Set A arranged in ascending order of the values -10, -7, -5, x, -2, 0, 2, and 14. Mean of the set and the median of the set. X can vary. X has a range of -5 and -2 inclusive. So we can find that out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 elements. This one's actually, that's not hard. This one's actually really easy. Let me copy these numbers real quick. I'm actually just going to copy it as a text thing over here. So I didn't do anything with this one. Oops. That's fine. So I'm going to put a text right here. Okay. Save. Close. So these are some values that I have. The range of x can be stuff. So b, x, I'm not on a paint layer. So x can be between -2 and -2. So if x was -5, that means the mean is, let's see, -10, -7, -5, -5, -2, +0, +2, +14, all over 8. Which gets me, let's find out with our calculator, guys. We got our calculator. So that means that our sum, 10 -7 -5 -5 minus, oops, -10. -10 minus 7 come on, -7 -5 -5 -2 -0 +2 +14 is equal to -13. Divided that by 8. I'm just going to actually say -13 divided by 8. Okay, so that's the minimum range. And if it was -2 instead, then it would be 3 more, meaning that we have a range of -13 over 8. And on the low end to -10 over 8 on the high end. Okay, so that's our mean. And then our median, it's x and then -2. Right? Over here we have x and -2. So x, it could be -5 on the low end, and then -2 on the high end. So if it was -2, it would just be -2. So the median, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, would just be -2. But if it was -5, -5, -5 minus 2 was that divided by 2. So it would be -7 divided by 2, 3.5. So it could range from -2 to -3.5. In other words, on the low end, it'd be -2. Let's go back to our calculator. Sorry, to our Desmos. Or the thing. On the low end, it'd be -3.5. And on the high end, it'd be -2. So which is bigger? At all times, is this a linear relationship? I think so. So 13 over 8 is equal to 1.65. That is -3.5 is bigger. It's more negative. And then -10 over 8. -1.25. So at all times, the median is less than the mean. So in this one, back over here, our median is always less than, meaning our set A is greater. Okay. All right. Last question, and I'm going to go to bed. Or play some League until I crash out or something like that. Okay, a trader purchased few books such that each cost an equal amount and then each sold. Okay, so what? A trader purchased few books such that each cost an equal amount and then sold each of them at an equal price. Quantity A is the increased gross profit of the selling price is increased by 20%. And then quantity B is the gross profit if the selling price is increased by $20. I see. Okay. So the gross profit if the selling price is increased by 20%. There's X many books. I don't know how many books, but he's selling it for Y amount of dollars, and at the end, the sum is going to be increased by 20%. Then B, the gross profit selling a price is increased by $20. It really depends. So which is better? Oh. So we don't know how many books there are. Each cost an equal amount, so it would be some number for P. I don't know. Or I'm just going to call it X. X amount. Trader purchased a few books that each cost an equal amount and then each sold at them at an equal price. So, which is greater, 20% increase or a $20 increase? Depends on how much you bought them for, and it depends on how much you sold them for. 20% increase from like $1, $1.20. They could all rack up to be a sum of $1. Or they could be sold at as $1 and you increased your profit by selling the book more by getting $1 more. There's not enough information. That's the last thing I'm gonna guess. Because there's nothing really to discover. It could, whatever it is, the sum is equal to a value x. This is me giving up. This is me like not figuring out the exact number, and I'm just gonna crash out and like give up. But there's not enough information because 20% increase if they bought them for like $100, well, and increased them by $120, 20%, then we'd have the same value, right? So there's not enough information. Thank God I'm smart. All right. Okay, that's it. So that means our final answer. All right. We got how many right? Questions back to overview. How many did I get? Did it tell me? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wrong. Got 14 out of 16 right. Well, 14 out of 20 right. That's not the worst, I guess. 14 out of 20. 70%. That's a C. That is garbanzo. That is dog water. That is not the best. That is one section, though. This is the comparison section. Okay. That's fine, though. Did I just also jump off in the deep end on some of these ones? Interesting. Well, that's okay. I'm going to call it quits for tonight. 14. I'm going to make a tweet about this. And I'm going to take a quick screenshot of this. And then I guess I'll just call that a night. Let me put that in right here. Okay. Got 14 out of 20 on a practice GRE math portion. Not the subject test. Just the regular math portion. That's a C. What? These questions are not only tricky, but are also show that I'm resting. Time to hit the books. That's me, guys. That's me, Aleph Mew. So, GRE exam? Is there anything for the GRE? Exam. What am I going to say? Math. Hit the books. All right. That said, we'll do more next time. But as of tonight, I'm done. So, see you guys next time. And glad to see some of you guys came and watched me. Thanks for sticking around, and catch you next time.